Hello, everyone, and welcome in. This is the Smedley Report for July 24th, 2020. I am Mitchell Smedley, and you are watching a revised Smedley Report. I have thrown out my entire script because what was just supposed to be a portion of the July 24th Smedley Report is now the entire thing. I come to you with a serious tropics update. We are watching multiple weather systems in the tropical Atlantic and the Pacific. We have a lot to go over. The revised script, if still applicable, will come out next week for the Smedley Report, but as of now, it is important to get this information out without any other stories interrupting it. So we begin in the Pacific Basin, where the Hawaiian Islands are now facing Hurricane Douglas. It was a major hurricane. As of the latest update, it is still a major hurricane, Category 3, winds of 120 miles per hour and weakening, luckily. However, Hawaii could be directly impacted by either a strong tropical storm or a low-end hurricane. The difference isn't that great. You're still going to see high wind impacts. You're going to see flooding impacts from the torrential rain, as well as possible storm surge. As it moves in closer to the island chain, we will get more information. That's Hurricane Douglas, again, moving toward Hawaii. It will do so over the next few days as the weekend progresses. Next, we move to the very busy Atlantic Basin, where we have three separate systems to watch. The first being Tropical Storm Hannah. Now, as of the latest 5 p.m. advisory, this is what warranted me to make this special Smedley report. Tropical Storm Hannah is now expected to become Hurricane Hannah in the next 24 hours on its approach to the Texas coastline. Now, again, it was forecast to be a tropical storm. Now it's forecast to be a low-end hurricane. Like I said, the difference between a high tropical storm and a hurricane, not that different. But it was a jump of 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, which may not seem like much. You might not notice that, but it's a level up. It causes more structural damage. A Category 1 hurricane is not going to level houses, but it will put in some damage to roofs, siding, trees, etc. Whereas you might not see as much of that with a tropical storm. It also increases the storm surge risk. 1 to 3 feet, that could go up, but right now the expectation is 1 to 3 feet. But as you get these stronger winds now with a potential hurricane, that moves toward 3 as opposed to 1. Again, it should be hitting the south central coast of Texas, south of the Corpus Christi area, and we will have to watch the system very closely as it makes its attempt to strengthen. Satellite imagery today has shown a much more organized system. Again, this formed in the center of the Gulf of Mexico, strengthened as it moved closer, and is still strengthening and could strengthen a lot faster as it approaches the coast. Sea surface temperatures are about 30 degrees from its current position to its destination. That will not limit it. Wind shear is light, if any at all. And we could see quite a bit more strengthening. Right now, the winds are at 50 miles per hour, but don't let that fool you. That will go up as we get closer to the event. Next is Tropical Storm Gonzalo, which pretty much the opposite of Hannah now. It was expected to be a hurricane for a few days, and now the latest advisory by the National Hurricane Center does not bring it anywhere close to that. It currently has winds of 45 miles per hour. That could go up a little bit, but also possible is that the system falls apart altogether. Gonzalo is first of all, it is out in the central Atlantic heading toward the Caribbean islands. No threat to the United States as of now at all. But it is there, and if it does degenerate in the Caribbean and fall apart, like is possible because of dry air getting into the system, it could move toward either the Mexican, Central American coast, or potentially toward the Gulf of Mexico. However, it is too far out to tell what, if any, impacts will come to the United States from Gonzalo. Again, that system could very well fall apart within the next couple of days and degenerate into just a tropical wave. Speaking of tropical waves, we have a new Invest 92L. For those unfamiliar, Invest just means an area to watch, an area that the National Hurricane Center is keeping its eye on. Currently, the wave that is requiring this Invest category is it's currently right off the coast of Africa, about 300 miles away from the Cape Verde Islands. However, it is moving west into favorable conditions, and over the next 5 days, the National Hurricane Center has now upped its development chances to 40%, which is in the moderate category. This started out yesterday. It was first recognized in the tropical weather outlook at 20%. The next outlook, it was raised to 30, and here we are a couple updates later, and it is now 40% chance of development over the next 5 days. And as that continues west and the 5 days continues to move out in time, reasonable estimates would say that that chance goes up until we eventually see a new depression or likely named storm. The next name would be Isaias. Now, the reason I bring up something so far out is because although long term, model guidance has suggested a potential hit to the United States varying from the East Coast to the Gulf of Mexico. Now, this is not to worry anyone. We have no risk from potential Isaias right now. Unlike Hannah, which is a direct threat to the United States, we have no threat from Invest 92L right now. However, it does go to show what has been said for the past couple months now by many agencies, including the NHC, NOAA, National Ocean and Atmospheric Agency, as well as many others, that this is going to be a very above average hurricane season, and even has the potential to be what we call hyperactive, which would be more than 22 named storms. Again, we are on our 8th named storm with the letter H. It goes alphabetically. Hannah is now the earliest 8th named storm. We have also had the earliest 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th named storms. We are currently outpacing the year of 2005, which saw the likes of Katrina, Rita, and Wilma. We are not saying this year will be anything close to that. However, it is worth keeping our eye on, seeing as that is the only comparable timeline at the moment. Unlike 2005, this is the very good news. At this time in 2005, we had multiple high-ranking major hurricanes, such as Emily and Dennis, that had already made their way through the Atlantic and actually made landfall like Emily did. Emily was a Category 5. We have not seen anything more than a tropical storm in 2020. We were supposed to get that with Gonzalo. We now have the chance for that with Hannah. And model guidance does intensify Isaias, or what is soon to be Isaias. But again, it is too far out to tell. The problem right now, we have two of them. We have Hannah, Tropical Storm Hannah, potentially Hurricane Hannah, and then we also have Hurricane Douglas out in the Pacific. So interests along the Texas coastline, along with the Hawaiian Islands, need to keep close watch on the tropics right now. And that also goes for anyone in the East Coast, Florida, or the entire Gulf. Anywhere where hurricanes are possible, really, this is going to be a major hurricane season. And really, this is the time to prepare. There are many different ways to prepare for a hurricane, or a tropical storm for that matter. It does not take a hurricane to cause major damage. Imelda proved that last year when it hit Texas and dumped just tens of inches of rain, completely flooding the area. So while you may not be in the path of one of the storms that are threatening land right now, This is the perfect time, maybe even the only time to prepare before something does come your way. Here at the Smedley Report, we will continue to watch, and if anything else develops, we will have a special report on it like this. Again, the original script that was going to be used will now be postponed until early next week. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, everyone. If anything major happens, I will be back with an update. Thanks for watching. This has been the Smedley Report for July 24th, 2020. I am Mitchell Smedley, and I will see you next time.